Hello and welcome to the Freakish Lemon video podcast. I am your host, the Freakish Lemon. I go by Adrian and I use masculine pronouns. Welcome to any new viewers and welcome back any returning viewers. I'm so glad you could be here to join me for this podcast thing. This intro has a lot of hand waving. This is a crafty type podcast coming to you from the Northwest Hills of Connecticut. Show notes for this episode and all episodes can be found over at my website at freakishlemon.com, and you can follow me at all the fun places as Freakish Lemon. Those places include Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Ravelry, Etsy. If I'm there as Freakish Lemon. You can also join the Ravelry group. Just go over to Ravelry and search Freakish Lemon in the Groups tab. We are the Freakish Lemon Video Podcast Ravelry group, where we have introductions threads, and right now we have a spin-along happening, and there's a questions thread that, I don't know. We're kind of a small group, but you are welcome to join us. I would encourage you to do so. All the links to all these things will be in the down bar here on YouTube and somewhere around here if you're watching this somewhere else. And please remember to subscribe here on YouTube. There should be a button somewhere down below. I can't remember which side it's on. To receive regular updates for this podcast. That's the easiest way to know that I've got a new episode up. Hold on one second. The dog wants to come join us. Hello, Penny. You are the cutest. This is my sometimes invisible co-host, Penny. She is a Pembroke Welsh Corgi, and she is too adorable to live. We're gonna have to smother her. She's too cute. What? Where are you trying to go? You want to stay on my lap for the podcast? Yes, there's yarn on the table. Can't even see her in the podcast, can you? You want to stay up here? You can stay up here. And, well, I can't pet you the whole time if you're going to be up here. We'll see how this works out. So, the first thing, usually, in my podcast, is a little bit of life stuff. As you can see from behind me and from my intro, the Halloweening is upon us. I definitely always decorate by the 1st of October, but I woke up Friday morning and it just felt right. So yesterday, I'm filming this on Sunday, September 18th, 2016. So yesterday, I spent the day cleaning this room because it needed it, because I've been neglectful, and I had to, clear out the real spiders before I put fake spiders up. Yeah, cleaning and decorating, that's what I did yesterday with the help of this puppa dog. Except for when you abandoned me to go to the park with Mom. Yes. Yeah, so everything is Halloweened up. Where are you going? Where are you trying to go? You want to get down? She doesn't know what she wants. Yeah, so Halloween. Halloween is Halloweening, and I'm very excited about it. I love Halloween. It is my favorite holiday. Yes. And, not much else going on in my real life. The only other really exciting thing that happened to me is I wrote out this bullet point fake fanfic on Tumblr for an alternate universe where Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't become a Jedi, and it got reblogged by some fic writers with notable numbers following them, so my Tumblr kind of exploded a little bit this past week, which has been very exciting. If any of you are coming over here from Tumblr to see what this bit of shenanigans is about. Welcome. Hope you enjoy. It's very strange. Very strange. I didn't quite get Loch Ness. I got more Rocky Mountains. I was hoping for a Loch Ness. If anything was going to get reblogged, I was hoping I was going to get the Loch Ness so I could show off. But no, just got Rocky Mountain. Still cool that everybody came to check out my stuff, but I was hoping for a Loch Ness moment. Well. But that's really all the life stuff I got going on. Because I'm not very exciting. So let's move us on to the stuff that we actually care about, shall we? Which is the, primarily the knitting stuff. You'll notice in the show notes this episode, they look very different. I'm trying this thing because I know I talk a lot about stuff, in particular things that I'm not even working on, and that's, I think, a waste of time to talk about things I'm not even working on. So the notes are going to be shorter this time, so hopefully I won't talk about every single thing that's in this bin behind me, just the stuff I've been working on since last episode. We're gonna try this and see if I can get this episode down to less than an hour. We'll see what happens. So for knitting stuff, I have one finished object this week, which is super exciting. Oh, there's already dog hair all over it. That's what happens when you live with a dog. Oh, they're toasty because my laptop is warming them up. These are my C-3PO socks. They're still a little bit damp. But if I leave them next to this laptop for much longer, they probably won't be. These were knit in the Mustache Yarns 75-25 Superwash Merino nylon in the C-3PO colorway. And this purple heel is just a Knit Pick stroll fingering. Whatever the fiber blend of that is. Just vanilla socks, 2x2 rib, stockinette, slip stitch heel, double gusset because I like the double gusset, star toe. I really like how these turned out. I am very pleased that these big gold stripes allowed me to get a double gusset in there without really distorting the stripes too much. Let me put down this second sock so I have both hands, because you can see this combined stripe length is not that much less than this combined stripe length. Like, it's only 2 or 3 rows less here than it is like over here. So I really like that because I love the heel flap and gusset, and I love how double gussets fit. So this is very exciting. Finally finished these socks. They're done, huzzah, and they get to go into my Box O Socks for the Box of Socks Cal hosted by Kristen from Bull and Vine Yarns and the Yarngasm podcast, which I need to post some socks in her thread. I know I finished socks that I haven't posted there. That's just not right. I gotta take some time to do that. So let me get these out of the way. Works in progress. 3 works in progress this week. The first of which is my Redford sweater, which is a pattern by Julie Hoover. I'm doing this in Yarn Place Basic Fingering Wool in gray, using US size 1, 2.25 millimeter Chiaogu red lace circulars. You saw that I finished the back piece last episode, and I had started the front piece. Here's where I left off for that episode, and I am really slogging my way through this. I'm in the most boring part now. It's the same boring part from the back, where you're basically just doing plain stockinette until it reaches a certain length. I'm about halfway through that row count, I think. So pretty soon I'll start measuring to see if I've got enough length. And then I imagine that the shaping for this front piece is going to fly by as quickly as it did for the back piece. And then it's on to side pieces and sleeves. So there is hope that I will finish this in time for Rhinebeck. I have hope. Especially if I keep at it the way I have been. Crossing my fingers that once I finish this piece, the other 4 pieces will fly. I'm slightly worried that this sweater is going to be way too long for my torso. I realized about halfway through the front piece that, people with my shoulder width usually do not have so short a torso. I have a very short torso. Like, the space between my last ribs and my hip bone is about my finger. I have, like, no midsection at all. So, we'll see how that goes. But even if I finish it for Rhinebeck and it doesn't fit, I'm still going to wear it if the weather allows, because it's going to be my first sweater. I'm going to show off my first terribly fitting sweater to all my yarny friends. I'm sure others can relate. And this project, before I forget, is in my Avengers project bag that I made myself, because I didn't have a bag big enough for all that yarn. Other things I've been working on. I have been putting some time into these BB-8 socks. These are being held in my Maple Mousse Fibers, the Force Awakens bag. And I believe I've shown the one that's done. And I am on the foot for the second sock. I've hit that point in the year where my morning and afternoon breaks at work are no longer for reading, they are for knitting. This way I can get a full hour of knitting in during my work breaks. So this is another plain vanilla sock, 2x2 rib, stockinette, Fish Lips Kiss Heel in gray, Knit Picks, Stroll Fingering, and more stockinette for the foot. This is also mustache yarn in the BB-8 colorway, 75/25 merino nylon. Yes, and I opted for the short row heel on these because these stripes are so small. It would be really noticeable if I put a heel flap and gusset in here. I'm expecting to be done with those by the end of this week, which would be great because then I can work on my Halloween socks. I also have one more work in progress, which is a new cast on since last episode. It's in my quilted jack-o'-lantern project bag that I made myself because I felt compelled to buy all the Halloween fabric and make quilted bags with it. This is the Descent Shawl by Lisa Much. I'm using US 5, 3.75 millimeter needles. It is a garter stitch shawl. I'm really enjoying it. I'm knitting this in my Once Upon a Corgi yarn. Once Upon a Corgi, the yarn company owned by my sister Gabby, who is also the host of the Once Upon a Corgi podcast. This is Zombie Kangaroo. And this is Nia, both on the Audrey base, which I believe is a BFL nylon base. If I'm wrong, just, smack me in the comments. I can't remember things, and I don't know where the tags are right now. So, oh good, I did go to the end of a row. Here's the front side. So, it will look like this. And it's a little bit hard to see the distinct stripes when it's all bunched up like this, but once I block it out, they will be much more distinct. It's a pretty low contrast striping I have here. because there are actually tones from Nia in the zombie kangaroo, like you can see. Like there's some greens that kind of go together, and you can see in this wedge piece that there's this like stripe of the same kind of colors that are in Nia. But I am very excited to see how this will turn out. This is a very simple shawl to do that looks complicated. I'm really enjoying it. So there's some stripes, there's a wedge there, some more stripes, and I've started a wedge in the Nia. So far, it's been a very quick knit. This wedge is much bigger than the other wedge, so I don't know how long it'll take me to finish it, especially with putting so much time in on my sweater. But I am hoping to also have that done for Rhinebeck, so I can wear that with the sweater. And this way, Gabrus has an example of what her yarns are like. You know, that's important. When your sister owns a yarn dyeing thing and is trying to make a living off of it, you have to, you know, show off her yarn as much as possible. That's what siblings do. While also making hilarious demands of their time. She has some ugly handspun of mine that I told her to dye up a different color. Just some poor color management, and they both look terrible. And I was like, make these not this color now. But that's my right as a sibling, to give her a hard time and tell her to fix my terrible spinning mistakes. So those are the things I've been knitting on. Crochet stuff. I haven't been working on any crochet projects per se, but I did do a little experiment with this dog sweater. This is a cute little dog sweater for my cute little dog, who no longer fits in a size medium. Corgis are funny that way. They have medium to large size dog bodies and tiny little legs, and they're long. So finding clothes that fit them is very weird. This was a hand-me-down sweater from a coworker of mine who got a puppy last year, and whose puppy has outgrown a bunch of her sweaters. Most of the other things fit her, but this one did not fit Penny. And Penny wanted to wear this one the most. So what I did is I steeked it and turned it into a around-the-house cardigan. Kindle's making weird noises right now. There were 11 knit sections of this 2x2 rib, so I basically put in the crochet on the fifth one from this side, the fifth one from this side, and then cut out the middle of it, because I didn't see a way that I could do it straight down the middle rib in this ribbed sweater. And then I just did a couple of rows of crochet to finish that off. And it doesn't quite fit her, it pulls in her armpits a little, but she loves to wear it even though it doesn't fit. So now we can get it on her so she can romp around in this too small sweater the way she wants to. Fun fact about Penny is that she loves to wear clothes. She thinks clothes are the greatest thing. She wants all the sweaters, she wants to wear them. She now has like a box of sweaters, but last Christmas my parents got her a Supergirl sweater, and she loved this sweater so much that she would pull it out of the box or off the couch or wherever it was, and she would bring it to you and whine, like, "Can you put me in this sweater, please?" and if you were too slow, she would lay it out on the floor, smooth it out, and try to put it on herself. It didn't work because she always went in backwards. But she really loves to wear sweaters. So I figured I could do a little steek experiment for her so she could wear that sweater for a little while until she gets sick of wearing a sweater that's way too small. I have dog hair up my nose now. Thanks, little sweater. So now, fiber stuff, which brings us to Sith and Spin. I will never get sick of that intro. We might make this an annual thing just so I can keep using that forever. Just saying. If anybody wants to join me in doing another one next year, I am down. Sith and Spin is a casual spin-along that I'm hosting where you are watching, reading, listening to Sith stories in the Star Wars universe. Although I don't know where you get Sith stories in other universes. Exclusively, but whatever. Anyway, that's 90% of Star Wars entertainment. And you spin. That's all you have to do. Watch a movie, watch a TV show, listen to an audiobook, watch a fan film, watch somebody play video games. As long as they're Star Wars and there is a Sith in there somewhere that you can point to and say, there, a Sith. That qualifies. A thread is open in the podcast group called Sith and Spin. It is both an entry and a chatter thread. Go ahead. All you have to do is take a photo of what you're working on and tell us what you're watching, reading, listening to, whatever. You can post multiple times. You can enter as many times as you like. Just make sure that we can tell that there's a difference between your photos, that it's not, 5 minutes apart. Show a little bit of progress, that's all I ask. This spin-along will be going until October 1st, and there are prizes. There is an Asajj Ventress bat, there is a Knight Brothers bat, and there are Sith spinning fluffs that are available, which will be drawn randomly. Excuse me, R2-D2. Will be drawn randomly when the spin-along ends. So, what have I been Sith and spinning? I have finished all of those spindles that I showed you past couple episodes. So I have a lot of tiny little skeins of handspun. I have this little skein of handspun. And this little skein of handspun, which is really getting blown out. It is not that kind of lavender. It's... Can I do a shady thing to show the color? No, it's still showing up really lavender on this little screen. Weird. It's not that lavender. It is a darker purple than that. More of a, grape soda purple. There is this one. I don't know what's in this one, but this one, you see these little thingies sticking out? Is it going to focus? All these little things. I'm guessing it's some kind of nylon or whatever. That stuff would blow out of the little bat and just cover my bedroom. I'm still vacuuming this stuff. Just everywhere. I beware. If you ever work with that stuff. There's this one. Oh, maybe focus on the skein. There we go. I like how this one turned out. And then there's these two, which are the same fiber but spun on different spindles. This one is the Blackfoot spindle, this one is the drop spindle. You can tell that this one's a little more consistent than this one because I'm still learning how to use the Blackfoot spindle. But that's what those look like. So now all together I've spun all of my mini amounts of fluff. Either gifted or fondant fiber fuzzlings or like little samples that were included in some other stuff. I've spun them all. Most of these will end up in my Cozy Memories blanket because they're, fingering to sport weight. And I think I've got a DK weight in my Cozy Memories blanket, so, it'll all work out. I've also got a couple of whips for fiber stuff. I did some work on my TARDIS Rolags. I plied my 3 turtles that I had finished. I was originally going to ply these on the wheel, but I figured out a sort of park and ply chain ply method that worked for me. My problem with chain plying on drop spindles is the weight on the singles as you draw up your chain usually snaps mine. So I just put the spindle down on a table or the bed and I just kind of chained up with my fingers and then spun it and then wound it on. So here's what these look like. And these are out of my Classy Squid Fiber Company Exploding TARDIS Rolags. Inside there, I don't know if you can see inside any of these. There's some bright yellow in there. And I did a teeny bit of one more Rolag, but it's just enough to get it onto the Turkish spindle. So it's ready to go. I also did a little bit of spinning my mystery fleece. Probably a quarter of a bobbin. I've been really focused on the knitting right now. So not a whole lot of spinning happening right this moment. Sewing stuff. I've done a little bit of sewing stuff, but no actual sewing for the sewing stuff. I have cut out all the pieces to my Halloween quilt. I meant to do some quilting yesterday, but then I decorated instead. I'll throw up an Instagram photo here so you can see what those pieces look like and the fabrics that I ended up choosing. I'm very excited to start working on it. We'll see how far I get in my sweater. And what next weekend looks like. Because next weekend is the yarn crawl and fiber weekend at the Coventry Farmers Market, so it's going to be all fiber all the time. I might end up doing quilting just to give my hands a break, so we'll see what happens. Which brings us very quickly on to new stuff. I have some new stuff. I certainly do. First thing I'm gonna pull out of this bag is this skein. This is from Vola Elfa. It is an 80-20 merino polyamide, however you pronounce that, wool in the gunmetal gray colorway. This was a gift from a coworker for allowing her to use my address because she's trying to sell her house. So, gray. Can't go wrong with gray. And then I got in my last Star Wars order from Mustache Yarns. Hopefully she doesn't come out with any more Star Wars self-striping sock yarn because budgets. But I had started, well, no, I hadn't started getting them all. Then I ended up with them all, so I couldn't stop there. Gotta finish what I started. So these are all 75-25 superwash merino nylon skeins, and they are all Star Wars. So here we go. This one is Chewbacca. It's actually lighter than I thought it would be, but it's not quite as light as what's showing up on the camera. It's getting washed out. It is brown. It looks a little too gold here, but it is brown. Just a lighter brown than I thought it was going to be. Then here is Han Solo. Can't wait to see how this stripes up. Boba Fett. And Princess Leia. I am also excited to see how this one's going to stripe up. Yes. So I have all the that's a loud truck. I have all the Star Wars yarn. I can go upstairs and roll in the Star Wars yarn. My wallet is empty, but my heart is full of Star Wars and yarn. Which is really all you need, right? It's really all you need. Isn't that right, Pen? She was so excited when this order came in. I just put these out on the floor and she was just sniffing them to death. It was fantastic. I also have two more skeins of yarn. Because I caught a Legacy Fiber Arts update. And because last weekend was not last weekend. The last time I filmed an episode was a holiday weekend. They didn't quite make it before I filmed the episode. But I did make a Legacy Fiber Arts update for their second Halloween update. So I got some Spellbook in the Steel Toes base, which is the 75-25 Superwash Merino Nylon. Love, love, love. Did I say that these were Hocus Pocus themed? They are Hocus Pocus themed. And I also got a skein of Mary Sanderson, which I wasn't even looking at the listing, and I got Snazzy Toes, which is the sparkly yarn, but that's okay. I'm cool with that. And these will go with my skein of Winnie Sanderson into 95% sure that these are going to go together into a 3-color cashmere shawl. With this as like, the popping accent color. So most of the shawl will be in these two. And this one will be the one that pops. I am excited about it. And now that I've shown you, I can go skein them up. And buy the pattern. And maybe cast on. Depending on how today's knitting goes. We'll see. But yes. Aren't they beauteous? Get out of the way, tag. Beauteous. I can't wait to see what these look like skeined up and sitting all together in my project bag. Because that'll go in this bat project bag that I made. Thrilled. That's it for new stuff. Thankfully. So let's move us on to other stuff. Sorry, just checking the time, see how much time I got. Other stuff. Stuff I'm watching. I started watching the Stitching the High Notes podcast hosted by Joanna. My notes are incomplete. Which I really enjoy and have subscribed. I also started another podcast whose name that I can't recall off the top of my head, but I will put the name of the podcast here. I've only watched 1.5 episodes, but I really enjoy it. The episode I'm working on now, she has her daughters on the show, and they're, I don't know, 12 to 14-ish age, I would guess. And they're great. All 3 of them are great. I really enjoy it, and you should check it out if you haven't. I'll have links and everything in the show notes. Other than that, I have not been watching much of anything. Stuff I'm reading, which I'm tracking on Goodreads if you want to follow me there. Motorcycle is very loud. Stuff I'm reading, which I'm tracking on Goodreads if you want to follow me there, as Freakish Lemon. I'm rereading the Galaxy of Fear series. I did not even finish the first book, because I stopped reading at work. So that's encouraging. Yeah. And I've been listening to Darth Plagueis by James Luceno, narrated by Daryl Davis, for some Sith and Spin. I've also been re-listening to books, because I am a repeat consumer. I re-listened to Kenobi a few weeks ago. I re-listened to the last quarter of Mall Lockdown, because I had been listening to that again. And I've been listening to Star Wars The Old Republic Annihilation, I think it is. I think it's the first book in the Star Wars The Old Republic series that you can get on Audible, so. And I bought another Star Wars audiobook, the sequel to Star Wars Clone Wars Gambit Stealth, which is Star Wars Clone Wars Gambit Siege, but I haven't started listening to it yet because I don't know if anything can top that middle portion of the book where it was an awkward double date between Bail, Obi-Wan, Padme, and Anakin, where Anakin didn't know who was dating who. I'm not sure anything can really top that bit of awkwardness. It was delightful. And I'm tempted to go back and re-listen to just those parts. It was hilarious. Yeah. Also, I haven't been doing a lot of reading lately because I've been doing some writing. I have currently 3 alternate universe Star Wars fanfics in progress, one of which is 5 sentences from being done. I just need to finish it and start editing it, which is a lot more fanfic than I've written in the past decade. So yeah, this section of the podcast might start looking a little weird. Can I blame the whole back-to-school vibes I'm getting out in the universe? Because everybody's kind of in the swing of school now. Can I blame that? Maybe. I don't know. And real quick, fanfic recommendation. And let me know if any of you even care about this, okay? If you don't want to hear about the weird fanfic I've been reading, you don't have to listen to me say it. I might still record me saying it, but if you really don't want to hear about weird fanfic that I've been reading, let me know. I know I'm kind of a nut job. Which, is evidenced by my choice for this week's fanfic recommendation, because it's a weird one. It's weird. It's weird. It's a Star Wars alternate universe fic, which is currently my lifeblood. It's Tumblr fic, so you find it on Tumblr. It's not, I don't think, anywhere on Archive of Our Own or fanfiction.net or any of the, fanfiction, capital F, fanfiction websites. And the post that I'm going to link you to doesn't even really have a title. The current working title of this particular post is Snakefic version 2. By the username Esama Station. I don't know if that's correct. I am thoroughly intrigued by this universe, and I want more of this fic. It's a pretty decently expansive fic, but I want more of it. Like I said, Star Wars alternate universe, prequel based. A lot of the fanfic I read tends to be prequel based, because there's lots of room to play in those plot holes. So Star Wars alternate universe, focused on Obi-Wan Kenobi. In this fic, Obi-Wan Kenobi is not a human being. Still a Jedi. Still does pretty much all the things that he does in canon. But in this fic, he is a basilisk. I know that I read weird stuff, but he's a basilisk. He's literally a giant snake that can kill you with his eyeballs and is venomous. And he's a Jedi. I know it sounds nuts. I know it does. But it is really good. It is a really good fic. And the writer did say that this is a work in progress, and they are intending to write more for it, which I'm very excited by. I love Basilisk Obi-Wan. He's a delight. And a huge monstrous creature. But, you know, with a heart of gold. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's my recommendation for this week. Yeah. You're gonna have to trust me that it's good times, if you're not a weird fic person. Also, if you're not a fic person, you'll have to trust me that there's weirder out there. Yeah. But I totally recommend it. And, yeah, let me know if you even care what I'm reading for fanfic. Because it's all gonna, probably just gonna all be Star Wars alternate universe fic. And, you know, if nobody cares, I'll just, you know, post on Tumblr instead of shouting it at you while you're knitting. But that's going to be it for this episode, I think. This weekend, like I said, I believe I said, I can't keep track of anything. It is the Western Connecticut Yarn Crawl, which I will be all over Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday is the Coventry Farmers Market with their fiber-themed weekend. They like to do themes. Fiber-themed is my favorite. So I might be around you if you are in those areas. So if you see me, say hi. Or, you know, just scream incoherently. I'm sure I'll pay attention. Yeah, that's it. All the show notes for this episode and all the other episodes are over at freakishlemon.com. Come join the Ravelry group. Join in on Sith and Spin. Introduce yourself in the introductions thread. Feel free to ask me any questions there, or message me on Ravelry, or put questions down below. I don't care. I don't mind if you ask me questions. You can follow me as Freakish Lemon at all the fun places: Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Ravelry, Etsy. If you want to see what I'm up to or see pictures of my adorable dog. Feel free to check out my shop at freakishlemon.etsy.com. There's still some notebooks up there, still a couple of project bag type things. There are spinning fluffs if you want some spinning fluffs. The 501st fluffs are up. The 2/12 fluff syrup, and the Darth Scabrous fluffs are up. So feel free to purchase. I'd like to know what people think of them. All the links to all the things will be in the down bar here below on YouTube or somewhere around here if you're watching this somewhere else. And please remember to subscribe here on YouTube if you want to be notified about stuff. I think once I start hitting a milestone mark on subscribers for the YouTube channel, I'm going to do another giveaway. I still have a couple of skeins upstairs in the prize bucket to give away, so, subscribe, it can't hurt. And that's it. I think we did okay. I think this was a reasonable amount of time. We better stop now before I find something else to talk about. Okay? Goodbye.